Of the Behavioral Health Network at Hartford Healthcare. Dr. O'Day, thank you so much for being with us.
Very welcome, Erin. Thank you for asking us to be here.
It's obviously very hard to come to terms with what happened for so many, including neighbors who actually heard these gunshots when it all happened last night. How does a community handle grief like this after such a traumatic event?
First off, Erin and Mark, let me say on behalf of our organization, we express the deepest condolences to the officers and the family members that have been affected tragically by this terrible incident. And you're right to ask the question, how do they react to this and how do they cope with it? And I think the first thing I want to highlight is that it really in many ways depends upon the nature of your connection to this tragedy. So those individuals, as we heard on your reports, that are close in that community, in that neighborhood, they're going to experience this differently than people who are also somewhere in the state of Connecticut, but are more distant from it. And so I think it's important that we recognize that people will experience this in highly individual ways based on their direct connection to these circumstances.
But doctor, I would assume it's normal for people who have no connection to this at all to feel sad about it and to feel sad for the community, right? That is a likely outcome for a lot of people and certainly understandable.
Yeah, Mark, every person I've talked to today has been affected by this, regardless of how close you are to it. Everyone's affected by it, and it is absolutely normal for people to have a wide range of emotions in response to a tragedy in any of our communities. And so I think you're right. I think what I see people doing is a wide range of emotions, from anger and frustration and bitterness to feeling at risk. I've heard a lot of people talk about, just like I heard in your earlier reports, a person saying it challenges my sense of safety in my community, and how do I feel grounded and safe again walking my kids to school, driving in my community. It challenges this fundamental feeling of wanting to be safe in your life.
As we try to process what happened, trying to make sense of really what was just so senseless, what are the best coping mechanisms for people watching right now to try to get through this?
Yeah, thank you, Erin, for that question. Unfortunately, we've had too much practice on these issues from various school shootings and other tragic circumstances. And what I would say is some of these recommendations stay the same. And it's the issue to want to help others is very important. The first thing actually is I always tell people is make sure you take care of yourself first. Until you're able to really feel safe and comfortable in yourself, it's hard to support others. I also think it's really important for people to rely on the natural supports that they have in their life, whether they rely on going to temple or going to church or going to a mosque or going to the regular exercise workout that they go to. The things that bring you comfort and security in your day-to-day life, this is exactly the time that we need to take advantage of the foundation of those things that bring us comfort and bring us a feeling of safety.
Yeah, embrace what we know. Dr. James O'Day, from the Behavioral Health Network at Hartford Healthcare, we appreciate your time and certainly your advice this afternoon.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Erin.